Podcast 2 out of many. Today we're going to be talking about how to grow effective leaders. And you guys, the first thing you have to understand is what's the point of a team? The whole point of a team, I don't care what industry you're in, if you're in ministry, if you're in sports, or if you're in business, the whole point of having a team, guys, is to get results. And once you understand that, you're gonna change the way you see a team. You know, I'm all for hanging out, but I see a lot of leaders and they spend 99% of their time with their team hanging out. And I'm all for building relationships. I love my guys. Like, no one loves my guys more than me. Trust me. But how am I going to feel good hanging out with my guys and we're not getting any results for the business? And that goes in sports. That goes in ministry. The whole point of having a team is to get results. Because what happens is when a sports team is losing, people get fired. When a business is not growing, CEOs get fired, the business goes bankrupt. And when a ministry is not growing, they change pastors. So you have to understand the whole point of having a team is to get results. Number 2 is there's 2 things that drive results. Number 1 is fundamentals, and number 2 is accountability. Without those 2 things, you won't be capable of getting big results or enough results. So you have to understand those are the 2 things that drive people to get results. Because if people are fundamentally weak, they're going to have a hard time. Like I always tell my guys, like, dude, if you suck, you could knock on 100 doors. You could talk to 1,000 people. But if you don't know what you're doing or if you're not capable of doing it at high levels, you're not going to get results and you're going to think that this business does not work. So number 1 is I put a big emphasis on getting my guys fundamentally strong. Number 2 is accountability. John Maxwell, shout out John. I love you, bro. Thank you for the DM. But John Maxwell says, without accountability, people drift. Without accountability, people drift. So everybody needs accountability. Guys, look, Kobe Bryant never won a championship without Phil Jackson. Michael Jordan never won a championship without Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson's never won a championship without Michael, without Kobe. So a coach always needs players and a player always needs a coach. So if you're a coach, you need players, but to get to become a coach status is you need to first be a player. Then you got to learn how to be a coach because you have to know what you're doing on both sides. And number 3 is you have to create a culture of competence. And then you have to create a culture of competence. And what does that mean? You can't have your top guy not knowing how to make a phone call. You can't have your top guy not knowing, like, imagine if a church, the pastor didn't know the Bible. That would be very, very, very weird. So if I look at your top guys in your organization, are they fundamentally strong? Because that goes from the top all the way to the bottom. So you have to make sure your core guys are great at the business. And you got to ask yourself, what are the fundamentals of my business? Because maybe you're in a different industry. Maybe I don't know what you do. Maybe you own a pizza shop. What's the fundamentals of your business? And that's the first question you need to figure out. And once you break down all the fundamentals, like what's a fundamental? The most important. So like, for example, in my business, my biggest fundamental, because we sell life insurance, my biggest fundamental is we need to be able to close life insurance deals. So you have to know, but there's all, of course, there's a lot more other fundamentals. We have about 7, but you need to break down what's a fundamental in your business. And then the second question you need to ask yourself is, how many people on my team are as good as me at this fundamental? Like my goal, guys, is like I have people on my team better than me at some of the fundamentals. Not all of them, but there's some people that are better than me at different areas, and that's what we strive to do, is we strive to have people who are as good as me or better than me at this fundamental. And if you have that kind of culture where your guys could compete with you at fundamentals, you're in a great position. So you got to ask yourself, how many people on my team are as good as me? And you want to have a lot of people as good as you, because the more people you have competent, the bigger your organization is going to grow. Number 5 is you have to you have to develop a system for accountability, guys. Like my organization is we have daily accountability, we have monthly accountability, weekly accountability, shoot, even every hour accountability. Because if without accountability, people drift, and you need to create systems for accountability. I have a night call every single night with all my core leaders, and look, I always tell my guys, look, I'm not trying to catch you lying. I'm trying to keep you honest, because what happens is I won't let yourself fool you. I won't let yourself fool yourself that you're doing the work. In reality, you're not, because what happens is when people start to lie, because maybe they feel like they slacked off that day, and maybe they feel like, man, like if I tell them what I really did, right, they're not gonna, they're gonna look at me funny. And you guys, but that's how people feel. That's not the reality. So we try to keep people honest. We're not trying to keep people lying, right? But you need to have a system for accountability. And look, so like if you have a problem with getting people on accountability, like for example, I probably have 400 agents every single day stay accountable to either their broker, either their leader, either their someone in the organization. I have probably about 400 or 500 people staying accountable on what they do on a daily basis, or even on an hourly basis, and on a weekly basis, and on a monthly basis. And that's why my organization is #1 in the country, is because we have massive amounts of accountability, and we have massive amounts of fundamentals. And look, if you have a hard time getting people on accountability, or keeping people to stay accountable to you, right? And the reason why is probably because they haven't bought into your vision. So you need to have, I have a serious talk with every single one of my guys before they hop on accountability. This is not a mandatory thing. This is a mandatory thing if you want to get big. This is a mandatory thing if you want to change your life. This is a mandatory thing if you want to win super big in business. And I have a serious talk with them, like, hey, look, all my biggest producers stay accountable, and people that don't stay accountable, look at their numbers. So I show them an example of people who don't stay accountable, and I show them an example of people who do stay accountable, and I say, which one do you want to be? They say, I want to be the accountable one. Okay, great. So if you want to get to where he's at, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And because I tell them that, and I say, look, don't treat this accountability like an X, where you're off and on, because then guess what? You're going to think it doesn't work, right? And I don't want you to do that. So you're either going to hop on and stay on, or let me know when you're ready. So we always have that serious talk before they hop on any accountability meetings, so they know that it's something that it's going to be a long-term commitment. Number 7. That's why you might struggle getting people on accountability, because they haven't bought into your vision. Maybe. You guys, it's kind of tough to get people to stay accountable to you when they see your habits every day, when they see the way you work every day, when they see you, it's going to be kind of tough. So I'm going to tell you what you need to do, okay? What you need to do is, first, you need to start leading from the front. 2, you need to build a relationship with these people. 3, you need to teach them how to get results, because you guys, this is all leadership, right? Like for example, with me, before I ask any of my guys to do anything, first, I ask myself, have I done this, or am I willing to do it again? And if I haven't, I would never ask one of my guys to do something I haven't done or I'm not willing to do again. Number 2 is I ask myself, do I have a personal relationship with this guy? Because how could I lead someone I don't even know, right? How could I lead somebody I don't even know where they're from? I don't even know what city they live in. I don't even know what kind of background they come from. Number 3 is have I showed this guy that this thing works? Have I showed him production? Have I showed him how to pick up a check? Have I showed him how to be successful? Number 4 is I ask myself, have I showed him how to get to where I'm at? Have I showed him how to get results like I get? Have I showed him how to build a team like I have? And once you do all 4 of those things, guess what? Now you could get this guy on. Now you're going to have way better results when this guy wants to stay accountable to you. Number 8 is, does your vision include your people? I meet so many leaders, right? That they have a vision, and I'm like, where's your guys included in this? I'm like, dude, like my top guy is Andrew, bro. Like I include him on everything I do. I include his team. I include all my leaders. I include all my brokers. I'm like, dude, I need you. This is our goal. This is where I expect you to be at. This is where we want you to be at. Do you want to get to this type of level? So I have my guys buy in to what we're trying to build here. So does your vision include your people? Number 9 is, do your people know that you care for them? I remember when Andrew was struggling in his business, and he was like 6 months into the insurance industry. He left everything he did. He came in here with massive bills. He came in here with a lot of debt, and he was making money, but not enough, right? His first 6 months. And I remember one month that he was struggling financially, and I would take him to go buy lunch every single day, or maybe after the meetings, I would take him to go get tacos. And I just wanted him to know, like, bro, I care about you, bro. I care for you. And so do your guys know that you care for them? And number 10 is, are you leading with results? That's a big one, guys. Like me, I would never, ever, ever, like, how could I tell my guys to get to a level I've never even gotten to? And that's why I take leading from the front very serious, because I don't want to lose credibility. I don't want to lose credibility with my guys, because once you lose credibility, you lose all influence, all leadership, and you can't move anybody. Number 11. There's 3 things that people catch from you, because some things are taught and some things are caught. We hear this every single day. But these are 3 main things that people catch from you. So if you want to develop leaders, you need to start doing heart checks. Like, dude, is this in the right place? And if it's not, check it, and then now you could grow from that. But if you think that everything's handy dandy, and all your leaders have bad attitudes, or all your leaders don't do anything, you're the common denominator. So these are 3 things that people catch from you. Number 1 is attitude. How's your attitude? Like when you walk in the room, like what are you doing, right? Like, are you like, oh man, or are you down, or like I walk in the room like, hey, what's up, guys? You guys fired up, bro? We're about to blow this thing up. I'm pumped up, fired up, super excited, and so number 1 is your attitude. How's your attitude? Like, I want to have an attitude of gratefulness. I want to have an attitude of humbleness. I want to have an attitude of hard working. I want to have a spirit of freaking conquering, right? And so number 1 is they catch your attitude. Number 2 is they catch your thinking. So if you're all negative all the time and you're always talking bad things, like bad things are going to happen, they're probably going to get negative too, right? Not probably, they will get negative. And number 3 is your habits. So like, oh guys, we got to go grind it out, and you take every weekend off, like you guys, they see your habits, and they see your work, they see your work ethic, they see everything. They might not say nothing, but they see it, and they're going to copy your habits. And that's why, like, my guys, they're at the office every day, all day, because I'm here grinding with them. I'm here trying to get better with them. I'm trying to grow this team with them, not just telling them what to do. I'm doing it. Number 12 is, do your people have room for you to grow? Do your people have room under you to grow? Like, for example, 6 months ago, I just got a 12,000 square foot building, and I wanted to grow. So, this is one of my offices. I have my other guys, they have different offices all across SoCal, and I have a couple in Texas now. But I wanted specific room for my guys, the ones I'm working with directly, so they could grow 12,000 square feet. And then the bottom floor of the building just became available, another 6,000 square feet. And even though we don't need it right now, I know we're going to need it later. So guess what? I'm like, we got to go do it. We got another 6,000 square feet. We have a total of 18,000 square feet. And I want room for my guys to grow under me. And number 13 is, do you teach them how to handle scenarios? Like, do you teach them how to handle a call? Do you teach them how to handle someone trying to quit the business? Do you teach them how to handle scenarios in what you do? Number 14 is, do you have a team player culture? Like, for example, like my mentor, I'm like the biggest team player for him. Like, Danny, whatever you need, bro, like I'm gonna come through. You can count on me, bro. Like, I'm gonna give you everything I got. And it's not just talk. My guys know I'm actually I'm actually about it, right? And does your team know that you're a team player? Does your team know that you're willing to go all on the line to help out the team? And if they don't feel like that, you're not going to have a team culture. And number 15 is, don't be afraid of dragging winners. You know, like for example, where, you know, sometimes you're so afraid to go this is the border, you're afraid to go a little across the border because you're afraid of what people are going to say or what that person's going to think. You guys, like, I have some sick leaders in my organization, and you guys, I actually coach them the toughest. I'm actually the hardest on them. And if you ask them, they'll tell you, like, I'm not afraid of driving them because I know that they have a lot in the tank, and I'm trying to squeeze out every single inch of greatness that they have in them because I want them to see because sometimes you have to see the potential in them before they see because, you know, my top leaders, they see their potential, but sometimes we see more than what they see, and we got to let them know, like, I see more than what you're currently seeing right now. We need to get from point A to point Z, and look, this is what we need to do. You can't be afraid of driving winners. So those are some tips of growing effective leaders. I hope this helped you. God bless you.
I don't wanna die for them to miss me. Guess I see the things that they